And we're live here on episode number 30 of the Minor League Geeks podcast. I am your host, Brent Ramlin with Ranch, and with me this week are Brent C. Turner.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And Connor Property of Zach.
Hello.
So for the folks who are just new here or want to learn or rehear or relearn about how the Minor League Geeks podcast works, basically a bunch of us get together once a week. Everybody brings a geeky topic to the table that can have to do with video games, technology, music, movies, or more. Any type of media, really, that we're geeky about. You bring a topic, we talk about, and then the next person goes, and then we leave you for the week. I will go first this week. My topic is, I check the email. The email mailbag that I have in my personal inbox, and a bunch of them have to do with updates to things that I've kickstarted. So most recently, I kickstarted the Amplitude Harmonix's new, or not new game, but their new release in an older franchise.
Is that the shooter?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the music game.
It's the music.
No, the shooter's also a music game.
No, I think that you're thinking about something else. It's like the psychedelic music game you play with your controller.
Okay.
I didn't play the first one, but I heard a whole bunch of stuff about it, and I always found it kind of interesting. And I found out about the Kickstarter early enough that I could become one of I get an early bird special. I think I pitched in $15 as opposed to 20 or 25 to get a full digital copy of the game. So my question to you guys is: have you ever kickstarted anything? Or rather backed something on Kickstarter, and if not, how you feel about the service? Would you ever? Are there things that make you apprehensive about it? I've kickstarted a number of things: products, movie, no music, but a couple of things.
Kickstart Veronica Mars?
No, I didn't do it. No.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the Kickstarter? The start kicks, the kick drum.
Jeez, it's a big question. I like Kickstarter a lot in a lot of ways, and in some other ways that have been outlined by various Long Islanders. I don't. But I have kickstarted one or two things. I can't remember the very first thing I kickstarted, but I definitely know I kickstarted this TV series, web series technically. Was it the Nightwing web series? I saw this. It was essentially an trailer for it that they'd made up, and I found it on YouTube and went from there. Went and kickstarted them, and they had all these cool, like they said, backer rewards, and they got over their limit pretty quick and started hitting their stretch goals. Like they would be able to use this camera if they got to their second stretch goal. Their first stretch goal was a proper, like a real, like they already had someone who was doing their fight choreography, but this was going to be a full stunt team of choreographers, and I mean it looks really cool. The costume, the updates they keep sending me are really cool with how they've made the Nightwing suit and the masks and his sticks and all the villains and that they're talking about. And like they had some really cool. What was the one that I got? It was like the regular stuff most Kickstarters end up giving out is like, here's a poster and some stickers and we'll mention your name and this is that. But the one I got, I think, ended up with, I get a replica of one of his, they're not batarangs, whatever Nightwing uses, his throwing implement.
Nighterangs.
But I think it's, in a lot of ways is a really, really good idea. I think that people need to just, pull it back a bit, because I think there are almost too many projects on there now where it's just being flooded and you can't really sort the wheat from the chaff.
I'm with you. Did it come to fruition? Because that's kind of a pitfall of Kickstarter. It's never happened to me, but
yeah, I was gonna say, have you guys been
burnt?
Yeah, burned.
No, they're still going. They've just finished filming. They're getting it edited and starting to send off most of the products. So it's like I get a Blu-ray of the web series and all the extra stuff from before it and the Batarang.
Now so Connor, you've never done it. You've never kickstarted.
I've not. I've thought about it. I've been like, I should kickstart this. Let me remember this for later, and then didn't. There's this one really cool thing I saw where this guy, like, I don't exactly know what they are. They were just kind of like little clips, and you could clip them on anything, and the other one went into your computer, and it would turn them into instruments. And I really wanted to buy that. Like, the example was like he clipped a banana and made a banana a drum set. And, like, that's some crazy shit. And I think I still might buy that, but I didn't kickstart it. I'm looking for something right now on the computer because this one band that I cover did a Kickstarter, and yes, for $14,000, and then they said they dropped their hard drive and that it was not happening anymore. So that was kind of shitty.
You gotta back your shit up if you're gonna take money from.
Yeah, well, then apparently somehow somebody was like, well, we still have the footage, and they released it on our website, and so nobody who kickstarted it got any of their stuff at all, and the director was like, well, this is bullshit, so here's the video, and just put it out on the internet.
That's a failure.
Yeah.
That's silly.
I don't know. I'm a little split between the things that I've backed. I've actually, like, thinking about it, I've backed a fair amount of stuff. It's split between known properties, like I funded Adventure Game that ended up becoming Broken Age, which is excellent. Harmonix's game. I backed. The movie I backed was actually the band Bell and Sebastian. One of its members wrote a solo album with a whole bunch of with that carried on like a plot. It was a concept album, and then it was a movie to build around that, and then the album would just become the soundtrack to this movie. And then on the other hand, I've also backed an external battery for USB stuff, so that I can just I throw it in my backpack, and then I think I can charge my iPhone once it's fully charged. Once the battery is fully charged, I can recharge my iPhone 18 times off of it.
What? That's insane.
Or like an iPad 6 times, and it's got 2 USB ports on it, and all sorts of other little jibber jabbers. And so if when I'm traveling in Europe or doing something, it's useful just to have that in the pack.
Did you get that for cheaper than it would be now?
Yes, I do. There's certain Kickstarters that even if I'm interested, if I miss the early bird special, I'm just not. There's
that's why I really want to do it sometimes. I'm like, that's a fucking good deal, and if I ever want this, I'm gonna be like, well, why didn't I get it back then?
All right. So there's like another sous vide machine that's retailing for $1.70, and
I've heard of the sous vide.
Yeah, it was. Well, there was a famous one on Kickstarter that was Kickstarted. Now there's a second one, and the early bird special was for $100, and I would have been in it for $100, but now it's up to $150, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
That thing seems tight.
Oh god, it's fucking dope. Sous vide cooking sounds so good, but like I want to do it. I'm apprehensive to do it for.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Just lock, stop, and barrel. But then there are other things like I think wasn't the MakerBot or some other. There have been like 3D printers on there.
Yeah.
And the early bird specials for those have been like fucking cheap. And I'm like, I would have fucking done it for $75. A fucking 3D printer, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff here, I'm also just scrolling through it as we're talking, and some of it, like this makes a lot of this stuff is pretty amazing. Like there's stuff from a lot of it's from all over America. But there's something from There's something from Tel Aviv, Israel, and it's this SCIO, 6 cents. It's a pocket molecular sensor.
What?
Like scan stuff? Yeah, it's 601% funded, 1.2. So their goal was 200,000, and it's 1.2 million. $2,598. 36 days ago.
You're living in the fucking. You're living in Star Trek at that point.
Are they required to use all of that money?
I don't know, probably. I mean, once they've got it,
Because
I don't know,
isn't
they
that
probably
a
have.
problem for some people who overfund their shit? They're like, we have too much money now, and now we're setting our goals even bigger.
Well,
Yeah, like
it depends on
stretch
what
goals.
it is. Well, yeah, there's stretch goals, but
Yeah,
beyond that, like if you're making a product, you can just make more of the product.
that's true.
Economy
Yeah.
of scale. But yeah,
But
if you're like
say I was
if
making
you're
an
funding like an album, yeah.
and they gave me $1 million, and I was asking for like 50,000. What am I supposed to do with the rest of the money? Is it mine?
Oh, definitely diamond studded jewelry
Yeah, I could just
and a yacht.
press. I could press every album on diamond instead of wax.
Yeah.
This is amazing. The photos they're having here of these guys doing it, these guys look like, well, they look exactly like scientists. Mostly because they've got microscopes and they're wearing white coats. But that's what I think.
That is the
they have.
trademark look of a scientist.
They could have fooled me.
Oh, and this is cool. They have an actual timeline of like this is when we launched it, because they've clearly done a lot of this already, and they just need more of it to build. Obviously, I'm guessing they need this money to finish doing the, like, make enough of it so that they could sell it and then make more money off that, and make the cycle go on. So it says Kickstarter launched April 29th, 2014, December 2014, Kickstarter final shipment, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty fast.
So that tells me they know what they're doing. We got a lot of sciencey people here.
Well, the thing so there's the problem obviously of people just getting money, like taking the money and running, which is obviously the worst. But I think the Kickstarter is kind of in its infancy, and I'm interested still. I mean, it's grown even since I first started backing. The first project I backed was over a year ago. Yeah, it was like April of last year.
Yeah.
Or April 2 years ago. It was a couple of years ago now. And even now there are like some stricter rules, and I'm interested. I think crowdfunding is cool, and I think it can be useful to those who have an idea but don't necessarily have the funds to pull it off. But I'm interested to see how it where it is in two more years.
Very cool. This is a lot of it's really amazing. Like a lot of it, like we've been saying, is just like, why are you making this? Some of it's just clearly projects people have had in their heads for a long time. Like you see you've got comics and board games. You see a lot of board games, which is pretty cool, which makes me feel pretty good because I enjoy a good board game.
Yeah.
You can sort by magic on the Kickstarter website.
What?
The options are magic, popularity, launch date, end date, and most funded. What the fuck does magic mean?
Easily, obviously means
look for that right now.
It means it means factoring in probably everything and then coming up with a number of things. All right, so I think we've spoken about Kickstarter for a sufficient amount of time. Brent, what about your topic? Talk to us about what you want to talk about, and then we'll talk about what you want to talk about.
Yes, I want to talk about so everybody here is a geek. Everybody on the show has been a geek. I just wanted to ask everybody, what are you extracurricularly geeky about? Like, what do you do? What do you go outside of your way to learn about that just fascinates you? You're really interested in learning about it. You want to know, oh man, I've got to learn how to make pinball machines, or I really want to figure out how to grow pears. I said that because I've got a
tree.
Yeah,
pears are so dope.
I love
They're like
pears.
a better version of the apple.
Yeah, they're like apple 0.5. They're not like
Apple
the
2.
most amazing fruit, but they're just like, yeah. It's like the V2.
Have you ever had an apple pear?
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
I love it when they combine fruit. They splice it. It's amazing. That's magic. That should be a Kickstarter project. The one that I go out of my way to learn more about is Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. I try to use it as much as possible, which is really difficult because whenever I say anything, people just look at me like I've just took a
How
shit
does
on the
Greek
floor.
mythology factor into your day-to-day life?
Well, now that I'm doing film and television, it's a bit easier
Okay.
because we've just actually been handed a script from one of our one of our lecturers and said this is going to be the one where everybody in the entire course, which is about 90 people, everybody needs to write the last page or the last the ending essentially of this script. You need to pick your shots. This is how you're going to shoot it, and then we will pick, and then they will pick based on the story and what you've got, which ones to film, like two maybe from each class, and that one's like kind of very Greek influenced in a lot of ways. The names are Greek. It's very open ended.
How many gyros are going to be in the ending of this film? I just want to know.
Oh, gyros.
Is that really how you guys say that?
Heroes?
Yeah, suppy.
Come on.
Heroes.
Heroes.
God, I want one now.
Oh my God! So when I was in Greece, by the way, we were in was it Athens or Corfu? This is when I went on my Kentucky tour. We were sitting there. We'd all had a pretty big night the night before because we'd gotten off this 9-hour ferry ride from Italy to Greece, which was awesome because we just sat on the helipad drinking, and which was really fun, nice and warm. And we got there, we had some drinks that night, fell asleep because we'd been drinking all day. Woke up and everyone was like, "Oh, I got a bit of a hangover." And our Venetian tour guide, Filippo, fucking funny, weird guy, took us out and said, "You guys have got to experience this. This is one of the best things Greece has ever done." And he takes us to this heroes place, and we go in and buy them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's not tortilla, this flat
Pita?
bread, pita, yeah,
Pita.
but it's different from pita bread in a way, and there's they put the chips in it and the tzatziki."
Wait, chips?
I had French fries.
They put French fries in it?
Oh, the ones we went to, they did. There was imagine halfway between a McDonald's French fry and a KFC French fry. I was about to say Red Rooster,
I've
but
never
you guys
been
don't
to
have that shit.
KFC in my entire life.
I don't think I've ever had fries from there. And the
Well,
only time I've been
I think
like
I
that-
understand, like a potato wedge.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're thicker and they just have
halfway.
chicken salt on them. Yeah, halfway between that, so they're not too big, so you don't pull them out and spill them all over yourself, which somebody actually did anyway for some, because they don't know how
So
to
how
fly.
good was the fucking hero?
Oh my God, it was
There
amazing.
you
We
go.
sat
That's
down
the point.
and we had these tiny little, not even big hangovers, but we're sitting there and we're just like, oh my God. Half of the people went in for seconds. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh god, man! Now I want Greek food too. Fuck.
I'm gonna find one today. I'm going into the city.
Are we all getting Greek food? Is that settled?
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be good.
That would.
I'll message you guys. Yeah, but I'll tweet it out. Got the heroes. But yeah, I love Greek mythology. Just one of the things I love God of War, but the mythology in that's inaccurate to on so many different levels. And it doesn't annoy me really because I just think it's interesting the way that they've taken it. But the one that actually always annoys me the most is how everyone thinks Hades is such a dick.
Because
No,
he's just a really mean person in the game.
He's just Zeus is Zeus. By the way, Zeus
Okay.
is such a dick. Fucking bitches left and right. Doesn't give a fuck about Hera. His godly wife. He's like, oh no. I'll get these human ladies. I'll turn into a fucking cow and trick this lady. I'll turn into a swan and trick this one lady. That's how.
I think I would like
sets it-
mythology a lot better if you explained it.
I'll do that one day. I'll write it out.
No, we'll do it when you come over to America next year. We'll just get drunk.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Explain it all. Bring my book. But yeah, it was always annoyed me that everyone thinks, oh, Hades is this. No, Zeus pretty much said, I'll take the top position. Second brother Poseidon, you take the oceans because I know you love boats, man. Hades, oh shit. You just take care of that shit over there. And so he's just been shoved away into the corner, deal with all these dead people, and just stay out of the way, you weirdo.
What about you, Connor? What are you geeky about
I've been
extracurricularly?
Extracurricularly, because, yeah, my curricular would be music. But I
Right.
really like cars. It's kind of recent. But
Really?
I just got into Formula One, and I've started, and I just the races are fine. They're interesting, but I really like reading about the technology because it's oh, let's spend $20 million developing this car, and if one person fucks up on like a tiny screw, then everything blows up, and that's really crazy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing the technology that goes into them. That fascinates me as well. But I should put you in contact with my brother because you guys will be able to wax lyrical about all that stuff.
Yeah, I started watching. Well, I've long finished now, but Top Gear. That's what got me into it.
Yeah.
I just one day was like, I remember I like this show. I'm just gonna watch it, and then I was like, okay, I could get behind these cars now. I used to just not care at all.
It's just all this. It's pretty amazing.
Brant, you don't give a single shit about cars, if I remember.
No, I mean, I think they're fascinating because they work, and I don't know how they work. But it's one of those things where
I'm learning how they work, and I just don't understand it still.
put the gasoline in the car, and then it runs. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of driving.
And infinity mini explosions in the engine, and then go fast. That makes no sense.
That's amazing. Exploding dinosaurs fuel our vehicles.
And yeah, I know. And then that's the name of that's the title of this episode.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I don't care about the type of car I drive. I don't really get impressed by really like quote unquote like awesome cars, although I can enjoy them like for a moment. I'm like, yeah, that car is definitely expensive. It's
I like looking at it. You've seen what kind of car I drive. It's like I drive an '89 Camry. It's older than I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well put together vehicle.
It works, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's why I'm driving a Honda CR-V to and from Syracuse from New York. It's going to be a good another 11 hours in a couple of days. I did that trip up one day, down the next day. I was in Syracuse for 18 hours. I've done that a couple of times. That was not fun. Yeah, I like to drive though, so it would almost stand to reason that I would like cars, but I'm like,
See, well, I really like to drive for a lot longer than before I liked cars. I just found it really relaxing to just go drive, and I could not care less how it worked.
It is really. It's not. I throw a little some music on the stereo system, and I kind of I get into
the countryside.
It's nice. It's true. Yeah, it's what I'm going to be doing up and down the New York, which is a big, beautiful state. And then the one thing that gets me mad every time that I did the drive, and I was looking forward to never doing the drive again, and yet of course I have to. It's for a wedding. Is that so Central New York, completely different than New York City, completely different than Long Island. Big, beautiful, vast miles of untouched land. You're driving on a highway and there's trees all around you.
It's like Oregon, kind of.
Yeah, for tens of miles. That. Exactly. Yeah. So if you go to a Google Maps and you type in New York and you do the satellite view and you zoom in a little bit, but not too much, you'll see just a ton of greenery. And so I really like that. I'm actually a pretty big nature guy, although that's not my thing that I'm into. But I love nature, and it makes me feel like I'm just a human in the context of this huge, vast, living organism that is the Earth. And so I'm driving along, and it's got me in this really nice Zen philosophical mood. And then there's a mountain, beautiful mountain, and all I see is there's a ton of trees. And but I see a little blip. And as I drive closer and closer and closer, it's a sign for a Denny's. It's a billboard. And so I decided that if I ever become fabulously wealthy, I hit the lottery and I have millions and millions, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, first thing that I'm going to do is have that sign removed. Because fuck that. That is just the worst thing that I've ever seen. It makes me so mad. And I know, even now, 10 days before I have to make that drive, I'm just fucking Denny's sign. God damn it. Side of the fucking mountain. Who? Fuck you. Denny's for Denny's.
Crying Indian syndrome.
Yeah, but it's a fucking Denny's. It's not even something cool. It's not even fucking awesome fucking happiness reserve. It's, it's a Denny's.
This is Billy Bob's wilderness survival course. Something that is if you want to live out here, we can help you not die.
Or you know what?
A problem.
Yeah, or I would rent the billboard and I would just have it. It'd be a plain white billboard, and then now this is getting into what I like. A nice font, and it would in big black bold letters. It would just say "fuck yourself." and it would just give everybody who's driving something to think about. Oh,
Yes.
all right. I guess that's what I should do. So the geeky thing that I'm into in an extracurricular capacity is layout and design of like magazines and newspapers and stuff like
That's
that.
not extracurricular.
Oh, it's totally extracurricular because I don't do it anymore.
I guess magazines. Yeah, you're not.
I quasi did it, but I'm really into like stuff like fonts and how and the
fonts.
Yeah, placements of articles and like how things. I'm a big layout guy, and it goes obviously for and it's tangentially related to journalism clearly, but many people just write and then they click submit in whatever back-end CMS. But I love going
into Times New Roman.
Right, but I love going onto websites and just seeing like, oh wow, those people, like the way that they integrated images, and like, okay, there's like an interactive bit, and oh look at like the typeface that they used, and oh look at how, things happen when you like hover over this button. The button like interacts, it like shines, and then if you hover off of it, then it like there's an actual action from when it becomes bright to like dim, and all those little kind of aesthetic things that make the experience of taking in information more like palatable and interesting, rather than just kind of a whole bunch of stuff on a page. Which is why I'm aggregating content on my site before I do a redesign, which I'm working on, and that'll incorporate a bunch of my like anal retentive love of that kind of stuff.
What are your top 5 fonts?
Oh my god. You know what? I can't give you my top 5 off the top of my head, but I can tell you a font that I'm really into right now is called Montserrat.
Okay.
And it's a wonderfully like clean and neat font.
Is it a sans serif?
Serif, but it is a.
I don't know what those words mean.
Oh, serif means it has little squigglies, and sans serif means without little squigglies. Because sans in or san in French means without.
My girlfriend has to design fonts for class.
Yeah, I had to do that for a class once.
So did my brother. I should put you in contact with my brother as well. He does graphic design.
Should kick Brent off of this podcast and replace him with his brother.
Replace him with Jake.
Brent's brother.
How do you spell it? Because I want to see what this font looks like. I'm intrigued.
Montserrat?
Yeah,
Monssert, I believe.
SSERT.
Yes.
Or
Oh, that's an island in the British territories of the Caribbean.
Montserrat is also, I believe, it's a holy church in Italy.
Oh, okay.
But I
like this
thinking,
W.
Yeah, I'm
This
thinking.
W looks like exactly like 2 V's. It's pretty neat. And the Q, instead of the slash being out of the bottom corner, it's just like right at the bottom.
Ooh, it's like, yeah. That's nice, Brent. I like that.
Yeah, so the reason why I really like that font is that I had to, or why I'm thinking about that font is I designed and ordered my business cards because I'm meeting more and more. I'm meeting with people, and it's good just to have those in your back pocket and be like, oh, I'd love to talk to you further, and that's like a professional way to give somebody your information. And I was looking for a font to use, and I stumbled upon that one, and I'm like, that's it. It's nice, it's neat, it's clean, especially because my business card is, there's a small graphic on it, but it's an object, not a photograph.
Is it a logo?
Yeah.
No.
Is it? Okay. I was hoping you had a personal logo.
No, it's a cube. And so I wanted a nice, clean, consistent, professional-looking typeface, and so I chose Montserrat. So that's the type of stuff that I'm like really, 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 really into. And I mean, I learned about it in school as well, so it's technically curricular. But I don't like have to do it anymore. My gig now is just writing. But I like how shit looks.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who like how shit looks, Connor.
That was not. No. Speaking
Connor,
of
what do you want?
A,
I take your segue and throw it in.
Or B, harmonics, better segues. How do you guys feel about peripherals? Because I like cars, so my friend is currently upstairs playing Gran Turismo on my racing wheel, which I really like. But my favorite peripheral of anything ever was Rock Band. Like, I loved Rock Band. That's arguably my favorite game of all time. and it was purely because of the drums. And I would just sit upstairs, like just playing along to all of my favorite songs because they had them all because somehow they got the license to like every good song. They knew. They made that game for me.
They pulled your mum aside and hey, I don't know what your mum's name is, but I'm just going to take a guess.
Okay, I'm excited.
Beatrice.
Nope.
Swing and a miss.
Close.
Polly.
But for now, it can be.
Look,
it can be Beatrice for now.
No, actually, Brent, you have to be really, really serious when you have this fake conversation with Connor's fake mom.
And harmonics.
Yeah.
Look, we're making a music game. It's about music. You play the game and you play along with it. We're going to include some drums. And we would like to know, what kind of music does your son like? Hold on, let me get my pen out. Yeah, okay. Baseball versus dads? Awesome.
We're not really doing mashups right now, but that is an interesting idea for downloadable content.
Yeah, okay.
DJ Hero 2, I'll remember that.
Yeah. Never
No,
forget.
that game showed me Weezer. That's important.
Yes. Yeah, it
I knew who they were, and I knew I should like them, but
Mhm.
I think that's probably the easiest song in the game. So I think it's the first one that they make you play. And I played it.
Say
And
it
I was like, yeah, say it ain't so. And I was like, this song's good.
I've got that on Rocksmith, the new Rocksmith game. The one that I don't know how much I've talked about it, but I enjoy it quite a lot. It has that on it.
Yeah, that's another peripheral that I've thought about getting because I have guitars, like I'm a musician.
Yeah,
and so
and you just need the cable in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go old school here. Rumble Pack.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, because they
Rumble-
have crazy peripherals.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for the N60, Nintendo has the craziest ones. I mean, they come on.
Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That made its whole little deal at the bottom.
What about
There was a
Game Boy?
Game Boy had a
Game
camera
Boy.
and a printer.
It had a printer, had the little magnifier, had the speakers that
Oh,
came
the
out of the
magnifier!
side.
You
So
get
that,
the magnifier and the light on top of it.
so that when you would put all of this stuff on it, and my cousin had one of the camera and the printer and the little printer, and I thought it was the most amazing thing ever.
It probably is, because think about how they had to miniaturize all that technology in
yeah.
like the 90s.
Yeah,
It's so that was
that's
so amazing.
that's the peak of technology.
Yeah.
The Game Boy
But-
printer.
Now the Rumble Pack was that solely just Rumble, or
Yes.
Yeah.
what was the one that they had to? It was
They had a memory card slot.
yeah, they had the memory card thing that you would put in the back. Now I didn't know that you could do that on the Nintendo 64 until much later, until I'd had it for quite a while, and I'd been playing. I thought I just had to leave my console on because this was my first console. I didn't see any obvious save thing because it was always blacked out on the screen. I was like, can I just not do it yet?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
many games would let you save it to the cartridge, but yeah, some of them required external stuff.
Especially the later on ones like what was it?
Tony Hawk.
I don't know. Tony Hawk.
Well,
yeah.
Tony Hawk, I didn't Tony Hawk save to the console, but I thought that just the Create Skater was to the memory card. All right, I could be
No,
wrong.
well, because my roommate and I love Tony Hawk, and so every once in a while we'll turn it on and have to start over on the warehouse level with Superman
Yeah.
playing. But it's Goldfinger and that warehouse level, so we're both like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
nice.
I don't really care that much. Like, replaying that game takes 15 minutes to unlock everything.
Yeah, I
It's like,
can.
all right.
By now, I can do like 2 runs, and I've unlocked half the levels.
Yeah.
I remember when we got our PS2, how long it took us to get one of those memory cards. And I was like, I don't know what any of these numbers mean. 216 MBKB. What is this?
I've never had a
Speaking
console where
language.
you've had to deal with that because my first console was an Xbox, and they had a hard drive in there, and everyone was like, "That's
Right.
stupid. Why would you put a hard drive in there?"
Oh, idiots. That's the kind of thing where you look
Memory
back now
cards
and
are
you're
the
like,
future.
"Why- yeah, look, you can take it out and put it back in.
Yeah,
but
you
what
can
about
take it
if
to your
you
friend's
just want to
house.
leave it with your console? So
No.
You just leave it in.
And there
I'm
was
just
never
imagining-
a space issue.
Yeah, they're just sitting there just going.
Made up like size. It was blocks or something, but you never ran out.
I did
I
like
like-
that with the PS2. When you would go in to delete stuff off the memory card, they were in these little kind of holographic 3D blocks that were
Yep.
It was pretty neat.
The PS2 also had a peripheral, the iToy.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Do either of you guys have the PlayStation camera? The
I
the toy.
PS4 one.
Yeah, the PS4 camera.
No, but there
Yeah,
are two in my local Best Buy, and at some point
I want
I'll
one of
probably
those.
buy one.
That was the other
100%.
thing when I bought my PS4. I was like, so Meredith, you should
Well, you can
buy me a camera.
you can literally just, and a neat thing about it doesn't have amazing voice recognition, but you could literally just say PlayStation, brings up a thing at the bottom, and you can, if you're already on something, you can just say start. It will go to it. You can say the name of it, and I haven't used that a whole bunch because I don't have enough games where I need to scroll for 20 minutes to get to it. But
That library
I've used it a
is
couple times.
bad in like a few
Yeah.
years because they
They-
list every game you've ever downloaded.
Yeah, all the way from one side to the other. It doesn't matter if you're using it, if it's in or not. All the games that are installed.
Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah, it's pretty. I had the PlayStation. I remember once because I remember it especially because we got the PlayStation 2 with my mum. Mum bought it for us and played that, and Jay was playing the Need for Speeds. What was it, Underground and Most Wanted and whatever. And I don't even remember what the hell I was playing. And then, like literally 3 months later, Dad had got us the same one for Christmas, and it was the iToy special. And I don't know what it was, but we loved that. We loved the iToy, and there was, I can't remember, the Ninja one or something. It was a Ninja one. There was a window washing thing. God. Kids love that shit.
Other one. DDR was technically a peripheral, wasn't it? If we're
was,
gonna
yeah.
GarageBand, not GarageBand, Rocksmith and Rock Band.
Yeah. I never owned DDR, but one time my sister's friend left it there at my house, and I played it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DDR's fun, but it does not prepare you for
for dancing.
dancing or revolutions.
That too.
I don't know.
Or
There's a
Dancing
revolution in
Revolution.
sound.
Yeah. I mean, what else? Like, has Microsoft really made any peripherals? Because we know Sony's done a few.
I have
we
a
know
Microsoft racing wheel.
Is it specifically from them?
Yeah, it's Xbox branded.
Wow.
They quickly stopped making it. I got it for
Yeah.
like $30 because just they stopped making it and nobody wanted it.
Jeez. That's like it. I mean, Nintendo has had the most stuff. Like they had Rob that came with the.
Yeah.
Was it the Super Nintendo?
They had the Wii Zap.
Nintendo.
Yeah. It was
A lot of
amazing. Like, they
plastic.
had a lot of plastic.
Yeah. Not very durable plastic either.
I know, right? Some of it's just ridiculous.
You
I
brought up
mean-
a good point, though, Brent. I don't know if I've ever Xbox peripherals. First
Kinect-
party, no less.
Well, what about Kinect?
Okay,
That's
The first
like
Kinect
Kinect.
was a peripheral.
that is like the grand poobah a little bit.
Yeah.
And they had the
Yeah.
disc systems for a while. They were trying to push that, like on the Sega.
Oh, HD DVD,
Yes.
that's a peripheral.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took that out.
I don't know they really don't have that much. You're right. Especially on the original Xbox, I can't think of any.
Oh, you only had to play Halo, though.
Yeah, that's the only game you needed.
Who gave a fuck?
It's all you need. But yeah, some of it's just bizarre. Like
Most
going through.
peripherals are garbage.
Yeah, like most of the peripherals are technically counted as controllers. Like I mean,
Yeah.
you guys remember the very first PlayStation, or if you've ever seen the original PlayStation?
Yeah, I played. I'm not. Yeah, I think we all played them.
Without the analog sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yep.
was
Yeah,
weird.
it looks so bizarre. It looks like I'm like, what is this?
I don't know if I've ever used one of those. But I think the not DualShock, whatever came before that.
No, I think it was
Oh.
called the DualShock when they added the analog sticks.
No, because that's when they added the Rumble, because it's shock.
The Rumble, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There was the one without the analog sticks, then they made the analog one, and then the DualShock, and those were all PS1 controllers.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. DualShock. Yeah, it was
Six
controller
axis.
capable,
Six
vibration
axis.
That's a good
feedback,
idea. Let's get rid of the Rumble.
2 analog sticks. Yeah, this is. I like how they put the description. Sorry, I'm just going through Wikipedia. They have such a lot of information, like when it was discontinued. When this is like the original one, discontinued March 23rd, 2006.
That's when the original, like the last game came out for the
Yeah.
PS1, which is fucking crazy.
It tells you how long the cable is. It's 2 meters or 6.56 feet. The height, it tells you all of the buttons that it has on it, which is I find really funny.
Would you consider headsets to be peripherals? If so, then the Xbox had those.
I don't know, because you don't need them. To me, a peripheral is something that you need to function a certain part of a game.
Voice chat, bro.
Yeah. Okay. But I googled the worst gaming peripherals, and first of all, the pictures of the Power Glove. How could we forget that?
Obviously.
But
that is the only way I high five people.
The the Donkey Kong bongos from whatever Donkey Kong.
I like how they tried to Donkey. That was a fun game.
The person who came up with that pun must have been like,
I'm so proud of myself. Yeah.
I deserve a raise for that.
I think the original one was just called the Dual. No, they had the PlayStation controller. It just had the regular buttons.
Apparently, there was a mouse for the PlayStation.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Diablo came out for it.
Oh yeah. Well, the PlayStation itself was supposed to be a peripheral, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the SNES.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, here's something. So when the PlayStation controller, then the dual analog controller, and the thing about the dual analog controller, the analog sticks had indentations in them. So they took that away apparently when they went to the next iteration. So it was curved on top, curved over like a hill, and didn't bring it back until PlayStation 4.
Interesting. Because those are way better.
I looked
indent ones.
Yeah, but I guess it was because first-person shooters weren't really a thing.
Yeah, nobody really cared.
Well, like they weren't you didn't really need to. I mean, you're playing something in the same kind of realms as GoldenEye and such. I know that's not on the PlayStation, but that's the kind of thing I associate with that era. Like, there's no first person doesn't really mean anything then because it's all one level.
Yeah, this has been a good conversation, guys.
Yeah.
We've talked about some good stuff.
Brant.
What?
Not one Ocarina of Time reference.
Now you brought it up.
Mark it down in the history books. I brought it up though, not you.
Has there been an Ocarina peripheral?
No, but there have been Ocarina. They were not branded, but they were advertised in Nintendo Power, full page ads, like for years.
Neat.
Absolutely.
Oh, and when they released the one for the 3DS, the redo, the upgrade, they like a special edition came with Ocarina.
So crazy. All right, so Brent, I got a question for you. You're the only person who can answer me this. Where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at Brent C. Turner on Twitter, and nothing else yet. I'm so annoyed that I haven't been able to get further in on that.
Sell platelets, get equipment, move to the States.
Yeah.
Boom. I gave you. There's your plan.
That's a large plan to live by.
First you get the money, then you get the power.
Connor Property Zach, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ConnorPoz, ConnorPoz. You can find Brent with a pear in his hand, or you can find my writing at propertyofzach.com. We do music, news, reviews, interviews, the works, you know.
Cool. I'm your host, Brent Rambling with Range. You can find me on Twitter at BRange. That is BRANJ. You can find my work at readretro.com, brantrange.com, eventually at ridiculousrants.com. You can find this podcast on Twitter at MLGeeks. You can send comments, concerns, and questions to minorleaguegeeks@gmail.com. As always, we welcome that kind of stuff. And, of course, share this podcast with your friends and your family. And if you hated it, your enemies. This has been...
What about another podcast that we help out with, our friendly resident ladies?
Oh yeah, there's a sister podcast to this called the Lipstick Nerds. Which
I have a third podcast to pimp, if you will.
Sweet mother of Christ, what is it?
I'm not
Drop
on
it
it,
on us.
but I'm working on it. It's Off the Record FM. it's basically, there's not a Property of Zach podcast right now. One day there will be, but for now it's basically the equivalent. It's Zach talking about the music industry and what to do if you're trying to make it big.
Neat.
There you go. So follow all those people, Google the stuff, come up with your favorite typefaces and fonts, and lay stuff out and make things pretty, and be geeky. Go forth and be geeky. This has been episode number 30 of the Minor League Geeks podcast. Thank you for listening, and until next week, stay classy.